a game. What an experience to be at the Rose Bowl. I'm still in California, baby. This is Michigan West. Kind of one of these pom-poms of the game. It is awesome. It was amazing. It was one of the great atmospheres I've ever been in any sporting event. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to NBA Finals. I've been to Michigan, Ohio State. What an experience that was, guys. I can't even tell you if you weren't there. It was 3.5, 4 hours of just non-stop excitement, drama, tense feelings, anxiety. It was crazy. And there were so many moments where it's like, man, Michigan's about to blow this game open and win it in the first half. And in the third quarter, fourth quarter, Michigan's about to blow this game. It's over. They're done. This game is they lost. This whole run. But they got the win. So if you guys like the video, if you guys like the win over Alabama and want to get this national titles, give me a like in this video because we're going to jump in my 5 things I just kind of takeaways, reactions from yesterday's win, plus a quick Michigan-Washington national championship game preview. And check this bad boy out. I love these things. You guys know I'm big on the chains, but spent way too much money to buy my son one of these at the game. And it's awesome. So I'm going to put it on right here, although I'll probably just take it off really quick. But want to show you that I'm rocking this chain. This thing is awesome, and it'll be one of the great memories of my life. Went with my wife, went with my son, and 60% Michigan fans. It was an amazing, amazing atmosphere, and I hope you guys get to enjoy something like that. If you didn't get to go yesterday, at some point, do that once in your life. All right, first thing is the offense wasn't great yesterday, but it got it done when it mattered most and when it was absolutely needed. Most notably, first half, reacting after the muff punt by Samaj Morgan. Alabama scores the touchdown. Then you get multiple Michigan touchdowns to then go up 2 scores. Now, you had the missed extra point, but you had a really great play call on that pass to Blake Corum on the first touchdown, which I think was creativity inside the 10, inside the 15-yard line that we hadn't seen all year. And then how about Tyler Morris on that streak? And he, being in the stadium, I was on the opposite sideline. That was down the Alabama sideline. It was surprising. I'm like, how did he get tackled? Because there was a guy right on him at the 30-yard line, yet he still snuck into the end zone. So great effort by Tyler Morris. But really, for me, it was the final drive, okay? On the 4th and 2 play call, by the way, what a play call. What a gutsy move by Jim Harbaugh to go for it there. Had all 3 timeouts, 3.5 or so minutes left in the game. Could have punted and hoped to get the ball back if you stop Alabama, call your 3 timeouts. But Roman Wilson gets a penalty on that play. But then he comes back, which I think just shows the maturity of this team. Wilson as a player and just the cohesiveness and togetherness of this football program to then get the big catch a couple plays later off a tip ball, and then the touchdown pass a few plays later. So shout out to Roman Wilson, the offense, Blake Corum, J.J. McCarthy, and this offensive line, right, without Zach Zinter, played one of the better games of the entire season. Blake Corum, as a pass catcher, was the X factor in the game. Look, I had it wrong, right? I thought it was me, Colson Loveland, Donovan Edwards as the X factors catching the ball. But it turned out to be Blake Corum catching a touchdown pass early on, Michigan's first touchdown pass catch, first touchdown of the day. And then the play of the century for Michigan, 4th and 2 at their own 31, something like that, and went for it. And run a little clear-out play to Blake Corum, goes down the sideline. Would have been a huge play if not for that penalty by Roman Wilson. Shout out to the offense. They got it done when it mattered and when it was absolutely needed. Season on the line. If you guys have yet to do so, it is National Title Week. 6 days to the game. Michigan, Washington, Monday, 7:30. Houston or bust. So subscribe to the channel if you've yet to do so. We'll have coverage all week long. I'm going to head down to Houston probably on Friday, cover the team hotel, the press conferences, media day, and then game day and post game. We'll probably do a couple live shows there from Houston Saturday. Sunday maybe even probably pregame Monday before we head to NRG Stadium. Number 2, how about the defense? Yeah, baby. Woo! Defense. Jesse Minter deserves all the money if he's going to stay at Michigan. I hope he does, but I'm sure a lot of NFL teams will be calling him this offseason as well. How about the first half? 6 blitzes in the first half for Michigan. 5 of them resulted in sacks. The first time in Nick Saban's coaching career, college coaching career, 20-plus seasons, that he's ever given up 5 sacks in a single half to one quarterback. So Michigan record-setting performance against the greatest coach of all time. Final stop of the game. One of the more hyped plays was Jalen Milroe taking off for the end zone. Looked like he was going to, from the stands, going for a touchdown. Rod Moore getting that stop. They got the ball inside the 10 then, first and goal. Clearly Michigan got the stop after that, but that was a game-changing, game-saving play by Rod Moore. But all game long, they shut down Jalen Milroe. He had runs here, runs there, but 6 sacks. Didn't really get anything going passing all day long, which is kind of what I expected. I think the hype of Jalen Milroe after the Georgia game, after the Hail Mary against Auburn, was much, overblown. I thought Michigan would do exactly what they ended up doing. My score prediction was 24-17. Final score 27-20, so it wasn't that far off. Though, if it wasn't for that Samaj Morgan botch punt in the first quarter, I think Michigan wins this game by 17 to 20 points, right? That really got Alabama going. And if it wasn't for that, this could have been an entirely different game. Guys, if you didn't see, I put my celebration video out on Twitter last night. It took about 50 or I think it was like 75 minutes actually to leave the stadium and actually get cell signal to post that. But I'm going to post it right here on YouTube. So going to cut to that now, about a minute or so. The stadium going crazy and me just going nuts. Check it out. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Give me a one-word reaction to yesterday's win over Alabama. If you heard the video there, you heard a guy in the background screaming, yes, 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 yeah, that was me. That was me. I was screaming. I was just going insane. I literally had tears in my eyes. Wife and son were going crazy. Just the intensity of that fourth quarter was just so much to handle in that stadium. And I've just been watching celebration videos on Twitter all night. I was up to like 2 a.m. after the game last night, all morning this morning. Just how many people across the country had the same reaction I did from home in the stadium. It was awesome. Give me your one-word reaction to yesterday's win over Alabama. Mine, of course, you saw in the video, was yes. All right, let's talk about the negative here. Special teams. The worst. I thought Michigan would have a big advantage in special teams in this game, but it was one of the worst special teams performances, outside of maybe he had trouble with a snap in 2015 against Michigan State that Jim Harbaugh's had at Michigan. Let's just go over them real quick. Samaj Morgan, right? Second game ever returning punts. He's going to run out there and try and catch a shorter punt, wobbly, end over end, kind of wobbly like this, and had to run up like 15 yards and fumble. So terrible, play by him, terrible decision by him. Missed extra point in the second touchdown. That could have been the difference in the game, right? Michigan would have been going for a game-winning touchdown, not a game-tying touchdown in the final minute or so of the game, 2 minutes of the game. But missed extra point, bad snap, didn't even get it off. Missed field goal. Again, could have been the difference of the game. Michigan missed that field goal. James Turner was solid down the stretch of the season, didn't get it done there. And then fumble on that last punt. I mean, I just couldn't believe that. What are we doing fielding punts at the 3 or 4 or 5 yard line? Whatever happened to stepping to the 10-yard line? It goes over your head. Let it bounce in the end zone. There was zero, and I'm talking about zero upside in catching that punt if you're Jake Thaw, putting him in the game. 1 minute left in the game, so he had not been in the game at all. He's been sitting on ice, not any game experience, for 3.5 hours. You put him in there. Bad decision by Jay Harbaugh, by the Michigan coaching staff. But I'll tell you what, I'll give Thaw some credit. He fumbled that ball. He had Alabama players, 20 feet away from him, barreling down on him. That ball was about 1.5 feet, 2 feet of going in the end zone and being a safety or a touchdown for Alabama and being the game ender. So shout out to him for recovering and just downing the ball and not fumbling again or letting Alabama players jump on him and have the ball squib out of there and letting them seal the game with a last-minute touchdown. Guys, the Michigan Football Report is presented by Prize Picks. I want to give Prize Picks a shout out for sponsoring us all season long. You can get a $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Prize Picks is super easy and fun to play. It's the fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. All you do is pick more or less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money. Now, In yesterday's game, I put $25 on the line to win 10 times my money by picking more or less on 5 Michigan and Alabama players. I didn't do too good, but nevertheless, it was super fun and super easy to play. When I launched the PrizePicks app, I get my picks in less than 60 seconds. That's why it's super easy to play and so fun for me. I don't have to set these daunting fantasy sports lineups or play against pro players like elsewhere in the daily fantasy world. It's very simple. Can make my picks super fast. I play Monday Night Football, Thursday, college football. Going to play Michigan, Washington, all NFL playoffs long, college basketball, NBA, Major League Baseball coming up in a few months. Get going with PrizePicks. I'm playing them all season long. Thanks so much to them for supporting the show. They're going to give you up to a $100 deposit match when you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. Up to $100 first deposit match. It's my favorite app this football season. Get going with PrizePicks if you've yet to do so. Hell, make the national championship game the first time you use them if you have yet to do so. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, $100 deposit match with code CLNS. Link is down in the comments and the description of today's Michigan Football Report. How about number 4 here? Michigan had the better coaching staff. And maybe that's tough to say because Nick Saban's the greatest coach, I think, in all sports, right? Pro, college, he is the greatest coach in sports history. And Michigan had the better coaching staff. I'd say they anticipated what Alabama was doing better, quicker, more often. They adjusted faster. They had a better game plan to win the game in the fourth quarter in overtime. And Nick Saban's probably still a better head coach than Jim Harbaugh. Nick Saban's still probably the best coach in college football. But Jesse Minter, Sharon Moore, maybe not Jay Harbaugh today, but everybody, Mike Elston, everybody at Michigan coaching staff held their own, and they had a game plan to beat Alabama and did not panic when they went down 7-0. Did not panic when they were down by 7 points with 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and certainly didn't panic when it got to overtime. 2 Blake Corum runs to score, and then they knew what was going to happen on that 4th down play. Jalen Milroe going to put the ball in his hands and try and score a touchdown. Last one for this one before I do my Washington quick preview. Some gay balls from me, just some thoughts I jotted down. Blake Corum, all-time Michigan guy. There's just so many all-time Michigan guys, legends on this team. Blake Corum, J.J. McCarthy, Mike Sainristil, Donovan Edwards. He didn't have that great of a game yesterday, really this season, but he's a legend for what he did last year against Ohio State. Why wasn't Corum MVP, though? I thought he should have been game MVP. J.J. McCarthy was worthy, but I thought Corum was going to win the MVP. Roman Wilson, what a couple plays down the stretch there. The big catch after his holding call or block in the back, whatever it was, and then the final touchdown to tie the game, or the touchdown in regulation to tie the game up at 20. The Michigan offensive line without Zach Sinter, big time. J.J. McCarthy, I put down here. Of course, we saw what he did. What a play in that halfback pass back from Donovan Edwards to J.J. One-handed catch, and then just threw the ball basically falling down and getting smoked by an All-American in Dallas Turner was amazing for J.J. On defense, I talked about Rod Moore. That tackle inside the 10 in overtime of Jalen Milroe saved a touchdown, and could have been the game-winning play, right? Stopped Alabama from scoring there, kept Michigan in the game. Junior Colson, one of his best games at Michigan, 10 tackles. Michael Barrett, 9 tackles and a sack. The entire defensive line, Mason Graham, the defensive MVP, Jalen Harrell, a hell of a game. Braden McGregor with 2 big sacks. Josiah Stewart played great, including the last play he was in on. Quentin Johnson, how about forcing that fumble on Jalen Milroe in the fourth quarter? So big-time games all around for this Michigan football team. Offense, defense, maybe not so much special teams. So Washington for a second, and just a few thoughts. I'll dive more into this game and dig into the intricacies of it coming up in the coming days. This Washington team, though, for me, is the same as 2021 and 2022 Ohio State, right? Super effective, accurate quarterback, wide receivers all over the field, good offensive line, right? They won the Joe Moore Award. We're not that great on defense. I think Michigan can push them around. Michigan knows how to stop this type of team with Jesse Minter as a defensive coordinator. I think this is very similar to those 2021 and 2022 Ohio State teams. And I expect Michael Penix to throw the ball and throw the ball well, just like Coleridge Stroud did in those seasons. Maybe he gets 300, 350 yards, but it'll be limited in his effectiveness in the red zone. And that's why I think Michigan being able to man ball them, being able to probably put some of those plays up like they did against Ohio State in those 2 years, keep pushing them, keep hitting them on offense for Michigan, and will ultimately pull away. I think the last half of the third quarter in the fourth quarter of this game. Michigan will take what will probably be a close game, 3 or 7 point game, and ultimately, push it out, get the win over Washington. My early prediction for this one is Michigan 42, Washington 27. So 42-27, Michigan going to get the win the national championship Monday night in Houston. Houston or bust. We're there. It's Houston. Now it's national championship time. So give me your score predictions for this game, Michigan versus Washington, down in the comments. I'll be in Houston all weekend with nonstop coverage. Team arrivals at the airport, media day, coaches' press conferences, everything. A couple live shows most likely. Got to get logistics settled away. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Give me those score predictions. And until I see you next time, probably do a video tomorrow as well. Go Blue.